give me that countryside.
Okay, I'm about to bush hog, so just a safety check real quick here. Coming along. Now we've got to put a fridge here and another shelf there, and I'll be ready to clean this out, and let's put some goods in here for sale. What you working on?
The other day we done a video on unpacking the solar panel and getting ready to put our panels together and let's produce us some voltage. So today I went to the hardware store and bought some lumber, and we're going to build a frame. I'm going to do this a little bit different. So those solar panels are designed to be permanently mounted or to be stationary mounted. We're not going to stationary mount it. I've got a plan. So right up here, there's some stuff going on. There's a wild man lives in my brain, and he's got this plan for us to build this thing a little bit different so we can not only make it mobile, but we can make the panel where we can adjust it to different angles to catch more of the sun's light during the day. So y'all stay tuned.
Oh Lord, you're scaring me now.
All right, so up to right now, I have built a frame to set this solar panel down inside, and I've cut a groove inside of the top wood and the bottom wood to set the solar panel down inside of to secure it. I want to be able to have this thing where it's movable once I get it inside of the frame. So let's see if it'll fit. Like a stinking glove, this thing fits like it was made for it.
It kind of was. Now let's go hook it up on the barn. Here he comes. Alfie's in a particular good mood today. Let's go see what's going on now. Hey, what's going on?
Hey. So like I showed you earlier, the solar panel is designed where it can tilt and change directions with the sun. The sun is directly overhead right now, so we're going to turn the panel directly overhead. We have run a piece of conduit inside the building to keep the goats off of it. And now we're going to go inside and let's hook this thing up. All right, so inside, I built us a wooden frame, box, style, whatever, to mount on the wall to bring the conduit in and to also bring our power in. So we've got the charge controller mounted up top, and I want to show you this. Here's the conduit. Kat, can you see that against the wall? So here's the conduit that comes in from the back with the red wire and the black wire that's coming from the solar panel, already made to the solar panel. All these connections have to do is be made. So the other end is on the charge controller. So I have the charge controller mounted up top. Remember what I told you a charge controller is. A charge controller is the switch, just like a light switch, that when I make the switch up, it sends voltage from the solar panel into the battery. But once the battery is fully charged, then I want to separate the solar panel that's outside, that's coming in on this wire. I want to separate it from the battery so I don't overcharge the battery. So we'll just plug the switch up, and Kat, can you see the lights on the switch? There we go. All right, so we've got the lights come on the switch, and it tells us that it is ready. So they sent inside the kit, they sent a wire with a set of battery terminals on it, with also the same type plug that comes from the solar panel, and it also comes from the charge controller. So we're going to take these two leads, red lead and a black lead. Remember, red is always positive, black is always negative. So let's hook those to our battery. Red to the positive lead. Can you get a picture right here, Kat, of that positive sign on the battery and the negative sign on the battery? So black goes to negative, red goes to positive. Now we can attach our charge controller to our battery. Last time the battery was a piece of cardboard. This time it's a real battery. All right, so now we have our attachments made. And remember, we didn't have to do a lot of crazy wiring. The solar panel manufacturer designs these systems where they can be plug and play. So we literally, right now, have the solar panel coming in through the charge controller. We have the charge controller right now charging the battery. So let me tell you again, just quickly, why you have to have the battery. The solar panel has the ability to produce 100 watts of electricity. So again, you can look around in your house and see, hey, what operates off of 100 watts? Well, if it's something over 100 watts, the panel can't produce enough wattage to run or to maintain that device. But the way that an inverter is designed is I can hook the inverter up to the battery, and I can use the panel and the charge controller to charge the battery. The battery is a DC, or it's a sunlight solar power storing machine. This thing can store so much wattage that it's unreal. So instead of pulling the inverter directly off the solar panel, we use the solar panel to charge the battery, and we're going to pull our wattage from the battery. So right now we're using our solar panel for just a charging device. We're using the battery as the device that we're going to pull our load from. Here's the crazy thing. I can unhook the solar panel and the charge controller from the battery and hook the battery directly up to the inverter. Turn the inverter on. Kat, can you see the inverter on?
Oh, it has a place to charge your cell phone.
So you can see that the inverter's on. So theoretically, now I could use these two wall outlets and pull power off them. I can plug lamps into them or fans or whatever I need out here in the goat barn. But the thing is, after a couple of days, me pulling wattage off of this inverter is going to deplete the charge off of the battery. So if I don't have some way to keep the battery charged, then I used all of this wattage and now my battery's dead. So herein lies why the solar panel is so important. I can attach this solar panel back to the battery, and now the solar panel is going to keep my battery charged, and it's always going to keep a constant voltage source on the inverter. So I have a voltmeter out here, and I want to look and see just what kind of voltage that we're getting off of this wall outlet from the front of the inverter. So right there, Kat, can you see that? This thing's fluctuating a little bit. It's running a little bit low, but the solar panel is now turned directly up to the strongest part of the sun, or the sun's overhead. So now that voltage is going to be utilized right here. We can now pull this voltage off the front. So think about what we done. We just went from sunlight power, which is somewhere around on the front of the inverter, it's somewhere around 18 to 19 to 20 volts DC, and we use this converter to convert, or this inverter to invert that voltage from DC voltage around 18 volts DC back up to 113, 14, 15. It's fluctuating between like 118 and 113 or 114. So now we can utilize the voltage coming off of the front of the inverter to run lights and to run fans.
A quick question.
Okay.
Can you hook more than one battery and have a longer lasting electrical source?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of electrical principles goes with circuitry when it comes to DC. So we have circuits that are called series circuits and circuits that are called parallel circuits. When I tie multiple batteries, I can either tie those batteries in parallel or I can tie them in series. With the setup that we have, if we put two batteries in parallel, that means that I can have twice as much, or my voltage and my wattage will last twice as long. I'll still be at the same voltage, it just lasts 2 times as long. So if I put 3 batteries in parallel, that wattage will last 3 times as long. So the more batteries that I put in parallel, it increases the longevity or the durability or how long it'll last that I can pull wattage off of that bank of batteries.
Okay, I am fighting goats out here, but I did go and get a fan from the house. So let's see if it'll work. It's difficult to do everything one-handed. Can't set the tripod up that high. I'm going to turn off the inverter. Okay. I'm going to turn on the inverter. That's hooked to the battery. That's hooked to the solar power. Let's see if we have power at the barn. And guess what? It works. So I'm going to take my fan back home and we'll go and get some lights to hook up here in the barn.